Well, Superman Legacy appears to be set up to kick off the new DCU, and we know a lot about this movie even this early on. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about everything we know about Superman Legacy, what's going on, and the new Superman James Gunn is going to bring to life. Well, we have known for a while that James Gunn has been working on some sort of Superman project, and that he would be the main character to kick off the new DCU. Well, with this past week's announcement, we got all kinds of new details about the project, and since then, both Gunn and Safran have talked about it multiple times and given us even more to talk about. So I thought we could dive into some of these details and what we can expect from this upcoming project. I think fans should be pretty excited. First and foremost, we know James Gunn is writing this project, and he might very well direct it. Peter Safran has hinted multiple times they're trying to get James to direct it, but I just think this is some public ribbing, and that is a done deal. The hard part is Gunn is so busy and working on so many other projects, I'm not really sure how he fits it into the schedule while he heads to the studio, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, we do know the script he is writing is taking inspiration from Grant Morrison's run on Superman, specifically All-Star Superman. Now, if you haven't read the comic, I've linked it down below. It's definitely worth a look. There's also an animated movie that's pretty darn good, so you might want to check that out too. Now, it will be inspired by this version, but not based on it. When you get to the end of the comic, it'll become pretty apparent why Gunn would not make a Superman movie based on All-Star Superman. But this version of Superman, the one in the comic, and the tone of that story is where James Gunn's going. We'll probably even get a very similar version of Clark Kent from that book. How that character handles himself and sees the world around him, and even some of his behaviors, mannerisms, and maybe even his costume. So I totally would advise checking it out so you can get a good idea of what you would expect. We also know it'll be all about balancing those two worlds, Earth and Krypton, and the heritage of both of his lives, likely giving us a glimpse into Kryptonian culture once again, something I know fans will love. Now, we've known for a while that this will not be an origin story, and Kal-El will likely be around 25 years old. James Gunn recently reiterated this fact, and even went on to say that this particular world that our Superman lives in is already fully inhabited by superheroes. Now, he's already working and is a reporter at the Daily Planet. This means that the large supporting cast of the Daily Planet will definitely be part of this project. Lois Lane, Jimmy Olsen, Perry White, maybe even Lombard will all definitely be showing up in this new Superman movie. Now, the main questions up in the air that really we need to address is who the villains will be. And quite honestly, I know a lot of fans don't want to hear this, but I can't believe Lex Luthor himself will not show up in the film. Now, he might not be the primary villain, but I do think he might actually be the man behind the scenes who will be posing as a good guy until his fiendish intentions are revealed. I actually think James Gunn will look deep into the Superman library, and if we already have an established Superman in Metropolis, we might even get a great opening scene seeing him face off with a villain we've never seen on the big screen before. The possibilities of several different villains potentially having short scenes squaring off against Superman to open the film would absolutely work. There's a laundry list of villains we could use here from Superman mythos, but somebody on the lower level, maybe like a Toyman, could potentially be perfect. Although this is not going to be an origin story, I honestly think Krypton is going to play a much bigger role, but I am prepared to be a bit surprised by James Gunn. I'm actually really hoping for a very terrestrial-based story, and give him time to build up his own mythos of characters and villains. Superman's got a great rogues gallery, and let that sort of come to life before we expand into the greater cosmos of the DC universe. Now, obviously the first big report here is going to be some confirmation that James Gunn is indeed directing it. I think this decision has been made behind the scenes, but they're just not telling fans yet. After that, and the script is complete, then we'll probably get a little news on who the new Superman is going to be. I know fans have a lot of opinions there, but I think that is farther off than many people might think, and we'll probably once again find that out at SDCC 2023. But we'll have to wait and see.